Welcome back to Just Another Sports Betting Podcast, the greatest name in sports betting podcast history, folks. I don't care what anyone says. I'm Cody. I'm Cody. Welcome back with my good friend Tommy Irby, who decided to come back. And the vibes are high because we feel smart today, considering line movement has gone both of our ways. So we feel smart. Obviously, we have to wait for games to play out tonight, but we feel smart for now. And what I mean by smart, I feel good about my Jordan Mason rushing prop. I got it 80.5. It's up to 85.5 now. And just a quick update. I was completely wrong about the George Kittle prop. It was always at 48.5. I read Deebo Samuel's line whenever I was telling that story yesterday. So I was wrong about that. But my Jordan Mason rushing prop is at 80.5, and it's up to 85.5 on FanDuel last I checked. So I feel really smart about that going into tonight. And if you took the under, I think it moved down a point today. So if you got it yesterday at whatever number we said, I think we said like 49.
Oh, I'm in at 49.5. Yeah. So yeah, I saw it in the 48 region. Yeah, we're feeling good about ourselves right now. A lot of people are talking about how the Tigers have the Guardians on the brink of elimination. That game's starting right now. A lot of people are talking about how the Mets just destroyed the Phillies. And another one seed is down, but nobody's talking about how Cody and I went 2-0 in the college slate last night. We destroyed both of the picks that we gave you. Your rushing I was a little nervous, and I texted you in the middle of it. I didn't let him get going. Yeah. And my over just soared over.
Trey Stewart.
Yeah.
96.5 rushing. He had 89 at halftime.
Yeah, I think we're gonna remember his name for a long time. Go ahead and put him in the Heisman conversation. But 2-0 in college. We're coming up on a very, very big NFL slate tonight, which I've tweeted out my picks. I was nervous about the under until you told me just now that it has gone down a point. Feeling better about myself. So
yeah, if you put it in yesterday, credit to you. Yeah. Also credit to us for telling you, in which again, for one day, I at least feel really smart.
Look, we're not trying to waste anybody's time here.
Right.
You know, we're getting to business.
Winners. We're trying to make money. If it was up to me, I would do the Cubs podcast in the summer and then just make money based off sports betting the other months. If it was up to me, that is exactly what I would do.
You know what? I'll match. I'll do the exact same thing. How about that?
Exactly. All right. We're 3 minutes in. We're not going to waste anyone else's time.
No more jibber jabbering.
We have games tonight. College football, week 7. We have games tonight. We have games tomorrow. And then we have an incredible week 7 slate to talk about for Saturday. Football. And we're giving it to you on a Thursday night. So, you know,
the way we're going, you want this information tonight because the lines are going to change tomorrow. So
right. So, you know, we'll see. Things could change, but I wrote down games that I am eyeing the most right now. Only the games for tonight I have actually locked in, but looking at some of these things, I'm kind of like, I feel like I should go place them now, and we'll see what happens. But you know, the ones that I think we're going to talk about, or at least what I'm going to bring up, are ones that I feel like if you place it now, you will not regret it in terms of line movement and how I think games will actually go as well. So let's start with tonight. So we already kind of touched on it a little bit yesterday. Did we give these picks out yesterday for Thursday Night Football, for college football?
Not tonight's college football games. We only gave out the 2 for last night. So
right. Okay, so Coastal Carolina plus 9.5. It's down to 7.5. If you're on the Dub Club, which shout out to all 8 of you that subscribe to the Dub Club. I gave it out to you this morning when it was still at 9.5, and now it's down to 7.5. So I hope y'all listen to what I told y'all, and you know, maybe a nice little, you know, pat on the shoulder or something. I'll take it. But Coastal Carolina plus 9.5, and I'm taking Middle Tennessee and Louisiana Tech under 49.5, which I believe is down to 48.5 now.
Yep.
So those are my two college football plays tonight. I think Coastal Carolina and James Madison aren't very different in terms of how do I explain this? The types of teams that they are. I guess that's the best way I can explain it. I think they match up well against each other. You talk about strength of schedule. Coastal Carolina's tied for 103rd in the country, while James Madison is 112th. So they've played a tougher schedule, one might say. What do you call it? The Coastal Carolina offense, they are 22nd in offensive scoring in the country, averaging around 38 points a game. But James Madison's defense ranks 27th. So how am I coming up with them hanging around at least? Well, Coastal Carolina, their offensive line is one of the best in the country. They rank 4th in sacks allowed and 4th in QB hits allowed.
Yep.
Now, James Madison, they rank 24. They're tied for 24th in sacks accumulated defensively in 29th and QB hits. So, and they're first in the country in getting turnovers. So I think this is going to come down to in the trenches. I think who wins this game wins the battle in the trenches. And based off what I've seen from Coastal Carolina, I think they can at least hang around. I don't know if they're going to win this game.
They can stay around. Yeah.
Right. But I think I would even play it at 7.5. I think they can hang around a touchdown. Now, if it gets below 7.5, I would not take it, and I would take James Madison. But I think getting them at a touchdown is fine. And this spread opened at a huge number. It was definitely double digits at the beginning.
I can tell you where it started here. Yeah, it started 11.5, obviously down to 7.5. So you're on to something there. Mm-hmm. I stayed away from the spread on this one. I do have a pick for this game, but I'm going to save it for the last pick of the night because it all comes together. But I had 59.5 the under in my cart. And then I went and did some research, and I see that 93% of the money on this game is on the over. And I chickened out and I bailed. That tells you that this is definitely going to go under because I bailed. So I liked the under. I still kind of like the under, even though everything is saying go over for the exact same reasons that you said. There's a good defense on the field. 60 points is a lot of points. You need 30 from each side, maybe some more on one side, some less on another. So I kind of stayed away from this one, but I do have a pick that involves the James Madison money line. Obviously there's a parlay coming because I'm on the show. That means there's a parlay in the works. So the JMU money line is part of that.
Okay. Well, I think James Madison wins this game, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. So
right.
Now, as far as Middle Tennessee and La Tech, both these teams suck.
Stink.
They
stink.
Middle Tennessee 1-4, La Tech 1-3, and what they both have in common is that their one win, each of them, are against FCS schools and not even against FBS schools. So, Middle Tennessee's coming off a 24-7 loss to Memphis. La Tech's coming off a 17-10 loss to FIU. All right. Yeah. FIU. Okay.
Yeah. Not a lot of points. Not a lot of points here.
Not a lot of points. The under is hit in 6 of Middle Tennessee's last 7 games on the road. You look at them, where they rank, in just offense. Middle Tennessee, they rank 109th in total first downs, 127th in rushing offensive rushing yards. They are bad when it comes to protecting the quarterback. They rank 125th. They rank 117th in turnovers that they've given up, I guess. 125th in QB hits. So their quarterback probably is running for their life a lot.
Yeah. Can't say that I'm staying up for every Middle Tennessee State game that there is, nor Louisiana Tech. So
right. That said, though, La Tech, they're top 30 in sacks and QB hits defensively. So, I guess the only way I feel like this might go over is if there's a couple defensive touchdowns in here by La Tech in some ways. But
yeah, I think I just went with the better defense on the field, and that's Louisiana Tech. I took them -4. I'm satisfied with that pick because it is up to 4.5 now. So again, this is a situation where I feel like I'm doing the right thing by taking 4. Terrible game. I will not be watching this game. This is one that you bet it and then just check before you go to bed to see if it hit or not.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
a really responsible gambler does.
I do not hate Middle Tennessee minus 4.5. Just because they're clearly the better team.
Or Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
Minus 4.5. I don't hate it, but the reason I'm not touching the spread is because they also suck on offense. 117th.
Yeah.
117th in scoring offensively, averaging around 18 points per game. And they're outside the top 100 in sacks, QB hits, and turnovers from the offensive side of the football. So again, I think if this thing is going to somehow go over, there's going to be a multiple defensive touchdowns, and that might hurt us. But at the same time, I don't know if they're going to be able to score the ball, either one of these offenses. So I think the under is the safest play. I do think La Tech is probably a little bit better, but I don't want to deal with that sweat. Just give me the under on this game. I'm going to watch Thursday Night Football and then open up the ESPN app and look at the score boxes for this
as game. God intended. As God intended.
Exactly. So those are my 2 plays for college football tonight, Tommy.
I also have, I'll just add in really quick, I have Western Kentucky minus 19.5. They're a way better team than UTEP. UTEP is a terrible football team. The line is already up to 21. I got it in at 19.5, so I feel good about it. Another one that I'm just going to click and forget until bedtime. And then to wrap up tonight, I did a money line parlay with the 3 heavy favorites of JMU, Western Kentucky, and Louisiana Tech, plus 110. Will get you the parlay. So that is tonight. Of course, this is a degenerate situation because we are parlaying 6 not great football teams.
You said plus 110?
Plus 110 on the money line parlay. Tell your friends. Come along.
Tell your friends. This is the parlay of the night, right?
That is the click it and forget it parlay of the night.
There you go. I like that name. The click it and forget it. Wake up tomorrow and see, oh shit, I won.
Yep. That's the plan. That is the plan.
Responsibly,
of course.
Responsibly, we'll wake up and realize, oh, I won.
Yes. Yeah. But and then what's fun is we're going to wake up tomorrow and then we got Friday games. There's college football for the next 30 something days or something like that. So,
we are on like day 7, I think.
Yeah.
Day 7 or day 8 of 55 straight days of
there
football.
It is. Yeah. So we're going to have something every single night.
Yeah.
Which is good because my hockey record is not great.
I won't even ask.
Thank you.
Okay. So those are the plays. I'll just show them up one more time for y'all. Tonight, I'm taking Coastal Carolina plus 9.5 and Middle Tennessee and La Tech under 49.5. Coastal Carolina 9.5. It's down to 7.5. Would still play it. Okay.
Yep.
And then I think the biggest thing that you're taking here is this parlay.
Yeah, that's the moneymaker right there. Louisiana Tech minus 4. I feel good about. Western Kentucky 19.5. I feel good about, but I'm really going to be watching for this money line parlay. Because when you can put a couple favors together and it gives you plus money, you got to feel good about yourself.
Right. Okay. Now, Friday's games. You can't bet on it if you're in the state of Illinois, so I don't really want to discuss it, but Northwestern and Maryland. UNLV goes to Utah State. Utah travels to Arizona State. Yes, those are the games tomorrow. We got probably the best game is the late night one at 9:30.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. Good thing it's Friday.
Is Utah and Arizona State? Is that Big 12 now? They Big 12?
Arizona State. I guess they would be Big 12, wouldn't they? They made the move.
Utah is 5.5 point favorites. The total is 46.5. The over, the percentage of bets, the over is around 50%, but most people, or no. The over is 90% of the bets, according to the books that I'm looking at, and 10% is on the under. So maybe it feels like a little Pac-12 after dark on a Friday.
Yeah.
Maybe a Big 12 after dark on a Friday.
Yeah, it does feel like they're running it back a little bit for sure.
Right. So 46.5, a 9:30 game between Arizona State and Utah. I don't know. I kind of like the over. What do you got?
I like Arizona State at home. They are undefeated against the spread this year. So
Oh,
giving them 6 at home, a night game, a Friday night against a conference rival in Utah, of course. And so I'm liking the home dog right there. I'm taking the home dog system. I love it. I'm showing that there is a lot of money going in on Utah. That kind of makes me love this more because the rumblings on the streets are that the public won a lot last week and they're feeling themselves a little bit. So if everybody's on Utah, I'll go against them. I'm going against a couple systems to go with the system of a hungry dog runs faster. Give me Arizona State at home. +6. I don't think they'll win, but they covering machine. They are a covering machine this year. I also like UNLV -19 against Utah State. That one just feels right to me, but that's where I'm at.
okay. Well, Utah is 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 games. The total or the spread did open at 6.5 and only moved a point, but it looks like that what you're sniffing here, it's moving in the right direction for you.
Yes.
And yeah, you are correct.
I'm sorry, they're 4 of the last 5. They're 4-1 against the spread.
I was going to say that they did not cover against Texas Tech, but when they were a 4.5 point underdog in that, but they've basically been underdogs, or no, they've been favorited in more games than not this year. However, I did bet on one of their games earlier this year when they played Texas State, but I took Texas State in that game because I thought they were the better team. They ended up Arizona State ended up winning outright by 3. They're coming off a 35-31 win over Kansas, pretty solid team. That's 2.5 point favorites. They won 35-31, so they covered there. I mean, I just think I kind of am with you on Arizona State here. I love a good home underdog.
The only thing that scares me is Utah stunk last week again, or the last game that they played last week against Arizona. They only put up 10 points. It was not good. It was also a home game, so they're probably a little feisty going to Arizona State. But I don't know. I'm just feeling the Sun Devils. I'm feeling them.
5.5 does feel like a lot of points, all things considered, when you look at the rankings for these teams. You look at the Arizona State defense, they're 20th in rushing yards allowed, 71st in passing, which is, pretty middle of the pack, 69th in defensive scoring, with nice, allowing teams to score around 23 points per game. Utah ranked 71st. They score around 28 points per game. 69, they're 65th in passing offensively, around 235 yards per game, and then 50th in rushing. So I just feel like it's a little bit more even, and with that thinking, it's more like I feel like the spread should be lower. It should be more like 3.5 or 4.
Yeah, getting a touchdown at home, it feels good to me, and the money is telling me otherwise. The line is telling me otherwise, but sometimes, scared money don't make money.
That's fair.
You just gotta go for the ball.
That's fair.
So,
all right,
big Sun Devils guy tomorrow night.
I think I might ride with you with the Sun Devils tomorrow.
I love it.
Here we go. Okay. Let's go to Saturday because there's so many games to talk about, and we're already 20 minutes in.
Yeah, I'm going to just say I have a pretty light card as of right now when it comes to Saturday. I got late into the game as far as gambling in college. I played it pretty easy the last few weeks because I've been very busy not being able to sit and watch games. I dabbled a little bit last week, did very well. Obviously, we're already off to a riveting start. So I'm going to keep it going here, but the Red River rivalry, say that 4 times fast, is the first game that caught my eye. I think it's a 2:30 kick, so I may be getting ahead of myself as far as the timing and stuff.
You are.
But and we can go backwards, but I just have to put out there, every time I see the Red River rivalry, just like Army Navy, I think over for this game. I have not placed the bet yet, but I already love the over, and I already love Texas 14.5, but I have not placed the bet yet.
Well, the spread for that game opened around like 7.5 and has already moved to 14.
Yeah, that was like right when the schedules broke. Yeah, they put it at like, I have it at 8.5, and then it's up to 14. So I haven't checked the movement in the last week or so. But Texas just seems like a real safe bet right here, because they, especially
a wagon.
Yeah, and Oklahoma of the last decade or so has had their number in this rivalry, and they're probably pissed about that. So I love Texas right here.
Yeah, they lost last year's River rivalry against Oklahoma, and the fact, you remember, they got the college football playoffs simply just because they beat Alabama.
Right.
I think there's some revenge here, I would say, for Texas, and they're the number one team in the country, so they're also going to be coming in with a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
They are 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games as a favorite. Public bet is around 41% on Texas, so maybe more the public is on Oklahoma. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know about the spread, but there was one player prop from this game that I like.
Ooh, okay.
And I don't do a lot of college football player props except during the middle of the week, whenever it's like 2 random teams I've never heard of.
Right.
Like yesterday with Trey Stewart.
Want to know, baby?
Yes. But Gunnar Helm, the tight end for Texas, last year in this game, he had 67 receiving yards, and I got it at 29.5 yesterday.
And what is this young man's name?
Gunnar Helm. And he's a tight end for Texas, and Oklahoma ranks 77th in receiving yards allowed. I just think because there's going to be a lot of pressure on Texas to not only win this game, because of it's a rivalry, but because they're the number one team in the country, and they're the team that's always the number one team in the country is always the one with the biggest target, right? On their backs.
Oh yeah.
I think with his experience playing in this game already, I think him and Quinn Ewers are going to hook up here. And, just for his season already, he's gone over the 29.5 yard total 3 out of 5 games. And from my understanding, this total is actually moved up to 34.5 since yesterday.
Okay.
So I would still take it at 34.5.
Yeah, you seem on it right here. You seem very on it. I love that. That is one that I will ride with you on. That's a great call right there.
He had 98 receiving yards against Michigan. They have a really good defense. I know they're not nearly as good as they were last year when they won the national title.
Texas lit them up for sure. So obviously he was a big part of it.
I just think, again, experience and having the target on your back. I think having a guy like this guy who has experience playing in high pressure situations.
Yep.
I feel like it's good. So, and I think there will be a lot of points. Like you said, the over just feels like a gimme, in which it scares me because Texas is the number one team or the number one defensive team in the country.
Yep.
That said, taking an under for a Big 12, well, they're the SEC now.
Yeah, no, it's a Big 12 game, and it seems silly, quite honestly. Seems silly.
I don't care if Texas moved the SEC, whatever. It's all the same.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, I do apologize. I went to 2:30. I was just too excited for that one. We can make our way back to the 11 o'clock hour.
Okay, so in the 11 o'clock hour, this is one of those games like we were talking about with Middle Tennessee and La Tech, but Wisconsin and Rutgers. You want to talk about disgusting football?
Oh, my God. Awful.
I don't know how the total for this went from 40.5 yesterday to 43.5 today. Someone explain to me like I'm 5 years old.
99% of the money is on the over in this game.
Really?
That is insane.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either, because that is a yucky football game.
I would totally wait. If it's gone from 40.5 to 43.5 today, I placed it, and then when I looked and saw that it moved 3 points, I cashed out. I lost $3, but I cashed out, and I'm like, I thought it would only go down.
I'll wait until game time to see if that thing is still hanging around the 44 mark. I'm with you. You just know that it's going to be misting or something stupid in that game too, because that is just way too ugly.
Right. And also Tyler Van Dyke is out for the year for Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Who entered the season as their starter. Rutgers, their offense looked terrible against Nebraska last week. Wisconsin's defense is always solid. Rutgers' defense is solid too. I just think if you love punts and grit,
Rutgers scored
running the
7
ball,
points last week.
Yeah.
They've scored 7, 21, 26. They scored 49 against Akron, if you want to count that. But yeah, they 44 points in this game. Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I like that.
Wisconsin's got like 3 skill position players that are like currently questionable right now. So even if they do play, it's not like they're going to be fully healthy. Rutgers got a few, like they have 3 players who are questionable as well, including AJ Suris. So like I feel like there isn't going to be a lot of points in this game. Rutgers 17th in scoring defensively. Wisconsin is 60th, but they've also played some really good teams like USC and Alabama is one of those two. So some of those numbers are a little skewed in my opinion. But I think these two teams, like, I just think we're going to get nothing but punts. So
speaking of nothing but punts, I got another under for you, and I'm an over guy, but these unders are just hitting at an incredible rate that I'm trying to be smart about this now.
Okay.
UAB and Army. The minute I say Army, you got to automatically be thinking under, right? Just off the top of your head, UAB and Army. Tell me what the total you think would make sense for these two teams.
Well, the thing is I don't bet on Army or any military service academy team unless they're playing in the middle of the week or if they're playing another military service academy.
Sure. Okay.
So normally when I think of military service academy teams, I think under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about 55.5 points in this one? You think they could keep it under there the way that they run the ball? Now, they have been up in passing this year. I'll give them that. But at 55, you need some help from UAB. I don't think you're going to get it. So I have under 55 in the UAB Army game as a play to go along with your very crappy looking under in Wisconsin Rutgers.
Well, Army they have gone over in 4 of their 5 games this year.
Well, it ends on Saturday because if they somehow, I mean, they put up 71 points against Tulane. I get it. But the money is on the under here too. Like, I'm not the only one seeing this and thinking this is dumb.
Yeah.
So I got that. And then Punt University, Iowa is hosting Washington. I have Washington. I got them locked in at 2.5. This line started at 4 and it is down to 2.5. So I think they had a tough break last week against Michigan. They lost by 10 at home, primetime game. A little bit of a disappointment, but I think they're going to welcome themselves to the Big Ten by going to Iowa and waving at the Children's Hospital and just taking it to them.
I'm confused. Washington beat Michigan last week.
I'm sorry. That's what I meant. They're flying high after the win.
So this is the letdown spot. Okay. I actually
no. I think they keep it moving.
Oh, you think
I read the wrong line on the wrong game. I apologize. This is only my second show. Please leave me alone. But yeah, I think Washington keeps it rolling. 2.5 at Iowa.
See, I'm a little afraid on that because Washington hasn't necessarily played well, and I took Michigan last week because Washington, in my opinion, hadn't played well.
Sure.
Now, traveling across the country like Michigan did to go play in a hostile road environment like that, I probably should have put more solace in that. Now Washington comes basically all the way across the country to go play.
11 a.m. start, so it's going to feel like 9 a.m. to them. Sure.
Right. And the fact that they're going to show up and be like, why are there so many cornfields? I don't know. I kind of like Iowa.
Iowa is definitely the smart play.
Yeah. See, when I look at what when I look at what Washington's done this year, right? So they just beat Michigan by 10, right? They lost by 3 to Rutgers. And Rutgers is a good team, but it was a 1-point spread. So whatever, it was close. They beat Northwestern. They covered, fine. They were 6-point favorites against Washington State. They lost outright. They couldn't cover against Eastern Michigan, and first game of the year is an FCS school, so whatever. I just when watching Washington, I feel a little deflated, as in like maybe I expected more, and I'm not getting it, but they are flying high. I think it's a letdown spot.
You may be right, and you've got me thinking about.
And I was coming off a loss to Ohio State.
You've got me thinking about the under now. Quite honestly.
I mean, the thing is like I was now turned into an over school. They've gone over in like every game this year. It makes no sense to me. I'm sad about it because I really loved those Iowa unders.
Sure, don't we all?
Whatever. Yeah. So I lean Iowa -2.5 there. We can go against each other on that one.
Well, this is our first disagreement, so it had to happen at some point. Now, this is one that I feel like this is just an automatic system play here. Okay.
I might do both of these, but I'm thinking I'm at least going to do one of them.
Okay.
Alabama -21.5 against South Carolina at home, coming off the embarrassing loss to Vandy. They're at home. South Carolina just absolutely got destroyed at home last week as 10-point underdogs. A lot of like College Game Day picked South Carolina as like the super dog
the darling of the SEC, yes,
to win last week. They get freaking destroyed. Okay. Alabama, they just 2 weeks ago, they did beat Georgia.
They did.
Right?
That did happen.
Give me the Tide to cover the 21.5, and I might sprinkle on them to cover the first half, which is 11.5 points too. 2 touchdowns. They're with the defense that they have. They might not let South Carolina score at all.
I think I like the first half 11.5 more than I like the 21.5 for the game. It does feel like that they come out of the gates hot. They're probably pretty pissed. They've had to listen to a week of people calling into the Paul Feinbaum show and rant about how it took the Boer losing to Vanderbilt 4 games when it took everybody else 40 years. So yeah, I think you're dead on here. Both of them are pretty pissed. Both of them are let down, but we're talking about Alabama here. They don't lose 2 in a row. They're especially not going to lose at home. I like where your head's at here.
Yeah. So I think that might be one of my locks of the Saturday slate is Alabama covering one of those 2. I think the first half is the more likely just because fluky shit can happen at the end with a big 21.5 point spread. To be fair, to be sure, to help anyone, the total or the spread hasn't really moved. I think it was around 20.5 on some books, and it's only moved to 21.5. So it's not like it was 17 and moved this far up.
Right.
It's not like a bunch of money's come in on them related to that. Yeah. So I would say Alabama to cover the first half is one of my locks of the weekend.
Yeah. I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you.
That's all I have in the 11 o'clock slate.
Yeah, I'm ready to move to 2:30. We already talked about Texas. I have another big one for you if you don't mind me going here.
Go ahead.
USC is hosting Penn State at the Coliseum.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I have already placed this bet. I took USC plus 5.5. Penn State has yet to play a team. USC has already played multiple teams.
Mm-hmm.
I got in at 5.5. This thing is down to 3.5 in some places. So feeling good about where that is. A lot of the money is on Penn State, but obviously somebody knows something because there's a guy with a bag that just took it and put it on USC because this line is moving fast. So even since I've had it on my screen, it went from 4 to 3.5. So I feel like I know what I'm doing here with USC.
Let me say this. Penn State did play Illinois this year, and Illinois has been for their standards has been good this year. They beat Kansas. Okay.
Yeah, and here's a compliment from Illinois. They are a hell of a basketball school.
Absolutely, they
Yes.
fucking are. But I'm with you though. I was gonna give out USC plus 4.5. The game against Michigan was awesome and one of the best games of the year. It was at the Big House. They should have won the game.
They could have. They were right there, man. They were right there.
And then they hosted Wisconsin. They were down earlier in that game and then ended up not only taking the lead but blowing them out and covering the 14 points.
Yeah.
Last week
they were stunned.
Game.
Yeah. Last week was a stupid week in football. Like that was apple picking weekend. Everybody understood the assignment. Nobody was super watching. And that's when everybody lost. But we're back to business this week. I think USC wants to do what they had done to them last week and be the home underdog that takes out a big power in the playoff picture. I mean, Penn State, they're a good football team, but they've only played Illinois to your point. So
they also have a bunch of guys on the injury report right now too.
Yeah.
I also think that USC has the better quarterback. I think they have the better offense in general. This USC team has been able to run the ball a lot better than previous years when they had Caleb Williams. And Lincoln Riley, I think he's a great college football coach. And again, they're at home. They're 4.5-point underdogs at home.
Correct.
And now Penn State has to travel all the way across the country and play this game. So I certainly, if I were to take Penn State, it would have to get down to a field goal. But I think USC wins this game out.
We're getting close to a field goal at the time here. We're at 3.5 at some places, but yeah, I locked in at 5.5, feeling really good about myself.
You should feel amazing. Yeah. Credit to you.
Thank you.
Okay. What other games in the 2:30 slate?
That's it for me at the 2:30 slate. Honestly, we talked about Texas. I'm not going to bore you with a soliloquy about Georgia State. But but yeah, that's really all I had at the 2:30 window. Nothing else as far as gambling tickles my feathers at all. But interested to see how Cal plays at Pittsburgh.
Well, thank you for bringing it up because I was going to go to Pitt, and I kind of like Pitt at -3. Cal,
big sad times for Cal.
Yeah. Cal had that huge lead against Miami and then blew it.
We talked about it on Sunday morning. Like we didn't even finish the game. And we were like,
I went to bed thinking that, they upset as 10-point underdogs at home. They had college game day in Berkeley.
Yeah. The kid made the field goal. Like it was a thing. And yeah. We
now
both woke up to like, what?
Now they got to travel all the way across the country and play a Pitt team that just went to UNC and won by 10 points.
UNC.
And I know UNC they're not like last year, that's for sure. But their defense is really good. And they put up 30-some points on that team. And this Cal team, I think they're fine. They're okay they're better than what.
They're not bad. Yeah.
They're not bad. They're better than what they've been in recent years for sure.
We're definitely betting on worse teams.
Yeah. However, this Cal team did lose to Florida State. They did lose to Florida State. Florida State is trash. Okay.
That's true.
So I think Pittsburgh feeling pretty good right now. 3-point favorites at home, ranked number 22 in the country. They got to face a Cal team that's coming across the country. Pitt has covered every game this season. Yeah. They have covered every game they've played this season.
All right, you've convinced me. I'm in. Yeah. I like it.
Give me the Panthers, the Pittsburgh Panthers over Cal. Let's go. Let's ride. Okay.
Yeah, I like that. Stanford Notre Dame doesn't do anything for me. I don't know if it does anything for you.
No, except for if the quarterback for Stanford plays, like maybe I take the over, but I can't. Notre Dame's defense is pretty solid. It should shut them down. 23.5 or whatever is too much for me to care about.
For sure.
Stanford's wide receiver, Iomoro, will be a great NFL receiver one day.
Yeah.
We can move on.
Great. Love it. Keep it going.
Okay. Tennessee -14.5 against Florida.
Yes. They're
Bounce back at home. This Florida team sucks. I don't care if they did beat the shit out of UCF. Florida sucks.
Here's what's interesting.
I know it's a rivalry game too,
but
Florida is bad. And it's at Tennessee, and Tennessee is going to be
they're going to be fired up.
It's very similar to how I feel about why I'm going to bet Alabama this week.
Yeah, they're going to be fired up. Florida is not a good football team. Tennessee should be winning. They're checkering Neyland. They got their whole plan to this section wear orange, this section wear white. I don't know what the uniform situation is. I'm usually a big guy on the uniforms, as you know. Yes. I don't know what they're doing or what they're planning for a night game against Florida. That's a big rivalry. However, I can tell you that 71% of the money is on Florida covering this game. And this just, it stinks of stink. It scares me. I don't think I'm going to bet this game for this reason of what you just laid out of this should absolutely be Tennessee by $1 billion. But the fact that there's a lot of money on Florida for some reason, I don't it just has me in a qualm. And I think I'm just going to sit back and let this game happen myself.
That's fair. I don't blame you. I think at the very least, you can put Tennessee in your money line parlay. That's what I think.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. But there is another USC match There's another SEC matchup that really has my attention.
What's that?
At the same time, maybe 30 minutes after kickoff, we have a night game in Death Valley. LSU is hosting Ole Miss. Ole Miss just throttled South Carolina, as we talked about last week. However, this LSU Tiger team is 108-15 in home night games, straight up. They do not lose at home at night. The last time they did, it was against, I think it was Alabama, wasn't it? I don't know. But I can tell you that the last time they were a home dog in a night game in Death Valley, it was against Alabama in 2022. They were 13.5-point underdogs, and they won the game by 1. This team does not lose at home at night, and I don't care who they're playing. Ole Miss is coming at a time where LSU, not favored, 3.5, probably could be more than 3.5, but they don't lose at Death Valley. So I'm taking the 3.5 just on the basis that they do not lose at night in Death Valley.
Okay. I like the over when I think
points. Yeah, I'm okay with points. Ole Miss is a juggernaut offensively. Obviously, if I think that LSU is going to win, they're going to have to put up points as well. Yeah, absolutely. I'm down with that.
Right. Yeah. LSU, I mean, their defense is, what is it, 3.5-point dogs at home underdogs. Yeah. And they give up points.
It's a night game.
They gave up 33 points to South Carolina.
Yeah, I like the points. What is the points at right now? Do you know?
I
had the spread pulled up. I'm sorry.
62.5.
62.5. Yeah.
A lot of points.
That would require some points. It did open at 65.5. It looks like it has come down.
So it's coming down. More people are on the under. I mean, anytime you get into that 60 to 70 point range, more and more people are going to take the under because there's just so many points.
There was that Big 12 championship game a couple years ago where the total was at 75.5.
Yeah.
And it had 70 at halftime. So
yeah,
those are always fun.
Those are the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm going, I think I really like LSU in this spot at home at night.
Okay. I like it. I don't like betting on Brian Kelly, but
nobody does.
They're at home though. And I'm not a believer in Ole Miss, to be completely honest. I mean,
they have a miserable loss this year, don't they?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, while we're here, we're in the 6:30 slate now. I mean, This is the biggest game of the year. Ohio State at Oregon.
Huge.
Oregon, 3.5-point underdogs at home against Ohio State. The over, the total is 53.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what I know.
Okay.
Tommy. This is what I know. Ryan Day in big games sucks. And Oregon at home as an underdog.
That's a big game.
They're going to feed Tez Johnson and Jordan James. Oregon rolls at home. I don't understand why they're underdogs. I mean,
Sure.
rankings, the fact that it's number 2, number 3 doesn't matter. Both these teams are good. They're both going to be in that college football playoff talk all season, no matter what happens in this game.
Yep.
Ohio State's got to travel all the way across the country. And it's, wow, that's, whatever it is, like, we keep mentioning it. It is a thing. It's the first year of having to do it. It's the first year of having to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in Ryan Day in big games.
You've made that clear.
He can't beat Michigan. He can't even do anything when he gets in the college football playoff. Give me Oregon to win the biggest game at home in a while.
All right. Here we go. Let me just come back at you here.
Okay.
You said Ryan Day doesn't win the big games. He can't beat Michigan, and he can't do anything in the playoff, correct?
Basically.
Those are the biggest games. He wins early season games. Technically, we are still early in the season. Now, I don't know if we've talked about this, Cody, or not, but I'm a Michigan State guy. I did not go to Michigan State. I was accepted into Michigan State. They sent me a letter saying they would like me to attend Michigan State. I did not want to pay them 40-something thousand a semester, or whatever the out-of-state tuition was. So, Michigan State guy. We played Oregon last week. Didn't go well. I knew it wasn't going to go well.
I was at the bar when it was on.
But I have fear inside me when Michigan faces Ohio State, or Michigan State faces Ohio State, because I know the outcome. Ohio State is very good in the regular season now. And then they wait until Michigan, and then they're bad. Up until that point, they're a very good football team on a mission. They're going to go out west on a mission. 3 points, nothing. I think they could win by double digits, but I think they will cover this spread. I will be taking Ohio State. This is a prove it, like, until you prove me wrong, I am with Ohio State. And they have yet to prove me wrong in the regular season, I should say.
I'll say this. Neither team has really played anyone except for Michigan State.
I love the under here. Love the under.
Yeah, both teams are great defensively.
Yep, love the under.
I think it could be a 27-20 game.
Yeah.
And I hope for your sake, if that were to happen.
See, this is a big game that we're on the opposite side of, and I would love to sit and watch this game with you, but I know that you have a prior commitment to take care of, so.
I unfortunately will be at a wedding.
This will happen. Yeah, this will happen again, and we will watch the game in the same place at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't believe I have to be at a wedding while this happens.
Man, yeah, that's tough.
Like, these weddings in October, man.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
That's why I got married in April, brother. I did it the opening weekend of baseball because I knew it wasn't going to be opening day. It was just going to be the second game of the season.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Okay. Now, I have one more game.
I love it. I already love it, and I'm in.
Okay. One more game. And it's like one of those, like, you're 12 to 15 Miller High Lifes deep, and you're at the bar with your buddies, and it's just one of those, just play it and just watch. And if it works out, great. If not, well, there's more beer to be had. Okay. And that play, my friend,
say it,
is the over between Kansas State and Colorado.
Okay, that's not where I thought you were going, but I like it. I thought you were going to tell me the over in the Hawaii game, because that's what we do as a tradition on Saturdays at 10 p.m.
Yeah, that's fair. But Kansas State and Colorado will be a fun game, I think. You guys, George Sanders, Travis Hunter, and that offense with Coach Prime at home hosting a Kansas State team that has shown that they can score points. They scored 42 against Oklahoma State in their last game.
Yeah,
right?
They do scare me at scoring points on the road. I think they're not super good at it, but it's a 3.5 point spread. So they obviously feel like both teams are going to be throwing darts at each other. High total. Yeah, I think you're dead on with this over.
Yeah, well, Kansas State loves to run the ball. Avery Johnson also is like a dual threat guy. And you mentioned they don't like to score points on the road. They did put up 34 against Tulane.
It's fair. That's fair. That's a fair point.
And they put up 31 against Arizona. That was
I believe that was in the rain too. So maybe I'm just being a Debbie Downer.
The thing here is that I just don't believe in Colorado's defense, and no one believes in Colorado's defense.
Well, they are in the Big 12 now, so no such thing as defense.
They scored 48 points on September 28th, beating UCF, but they allowed 21. The over hit in that game. They allowed Baylor to put up 31 in a game that was that crazy one they won at the very end, 38-31.
Sure.
I mean, very first game of the year, they allowed North Dakota State to put up 26.
Yeah.
Okay. And no offense. I mean, North Dakota State's the best FCS program in the country. It was a very fun game to watch. I remember betting on it. Their worst game that they've had for sure is against Nebraska at Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
And their defense looked really good against Colorado State, but Kansas State is no Colorado State in the positive direction. Like this is going to be in my opinion, this could be 60 points by halftime, honestly,
sure.
if all things go well, right?
Yeah, let's just put up points. Why not? I love it. I love it.
I don't really think that, but I think they could for sure be halfway there by halftime because both these schools know how to put up points.
How about this? Let me try to entice you on something here. So you got 55.5 is the over for the Kansas State, Colorado. You got 59.5 in Boise State. What if we tease those? What if we just put them together and tease them for a nice minus 120?
For a nice minus 120?
I think that normally is what it is. So Boise State would go down to 53.5 in Hawaii. And then K-State, Colorado State, we're looking at 48.5.
I don't hate it.
48, 49, or 49.5. So keep it under 50.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't hate it.
You talked about before we went on the air. This is a little programming tidbit for the kids. We talked about doing a little parlay, late night overs, putting them together, teasing them a little bit. Teasers historically lose, but
yeah,
what's the fun in not doing it?
Having the money.
see now we're just in different opinions.
Yeah. I don't hate doing a little overs action at the end, but my question was we should put a money line parlay together.
Okay, yeah, I'm in on that. In on that. Yeah.
I'll just say I already kind of put it together, but I'm willing to take some teams out and put some teams in, depending on who you like.
Sure.
You want to hear the one that I put together?
Yes, I would love to hear it.
All right. Texas money line.
Love it.
That's minus 650. Okay. Pitt money line at minus 155.
Okay.
Tennessee money line at minus 650. Oregon plus 130, which obviously you're against that.
Sure.
And then Kansas State on the road at Colorado minus 175. So let's just take Oregon out just because we're both different on that one.
Have you put Tennessee was not in it, was it?
No, Tennessee's in it.
Oh, Tennessee is in it. Okay.
Yeah, so now I took Oregon out.
Oh.
I could take Kansas State out too, but I think those first three, Texas, Pitt, and Tennessee can stay. Yeah. I feel like we need to add 3 more legs at least.
Sure, yeah. Let's see if we can put something together here. Okay. I like Tennessee in there. We already talked about Tennessee. That's going to be a game that should be had.
We could totally add some games from tonight too. If you wanted to throw in.
Yeah, I did. I do have my money line parlay of JMU, Western Kentucky, and Louisiana Tech. But what about throwing in a gimme in the Notre Dame Stanford? So a Notre Dame money line situation. That's probably a gimme. Yes. I don't know if it does anything to the
Notre
odds.
Dame is minus 2,500 though.
Okay, yeah, that's not what I'm seeing on here. So yeah, let's leave that one out. Man, I wish I had thought about this before, like you told me to.
We both like USC. Do you want to put USC in there?
Yeah, we both do like USC. Yeah, let's.
And they're at plus 150, so that adds.
Yeah, that definitely adds some value.
We're up to plus 447.
Sure, and then I think tonight the Western Kentucky, I think they're plus 1,100 ish, give or take, just to add a little fluff to it.
It didn't really add much to mine because on the book I'm on right now, it's at minus 1,200.
All right, take that out and put Louisiana Tech.
Louisiana Tech
minus 180.
180. All right,
so that's Louisiana Tech.
Let me read this out, okay?
Please.
For a 6, no, this is a 5. Yeah, a 5-leg parlay a 5-leg show parlay for week 7 of college football. Louisiana Tech against Middle Tennessee money line tonight.
Yep.
Then we go straight to Saturday and start with Texas over Oklahoma money line, Pitt money line over California, Tennessee bounce back at home against Florida, Tennessee money line, and then the big one, the one underdog, USC money line hosting Penn State. Brings us to plus 735.
Okay, hang on. So we have one from Thursday and we have plenty from Saturday. We both like Arizona State on Friday.
We do both like Arizona.
And that is an underdog. So coming out swinging. But
well, if I put Arizona State money line in there, it boosts it to plus 2156.
Just saying. It would be fun.
I'm not against it. Why not?
All right.
$5.
What book are you on there?
I'm on BetMGM. $5 will win you 112. $10 will win you 225.
Look, we're here to have fun, boys and girls. We are here to have fun. We're giving you winners every single day, allegedly.
Allegedly.
I'm putting it in now. I'm with you.
Okay. Let me read this all off one more time. This is the week 7 college football. We're throwing a dart at the dartboard and hoping we hit a bullseye parlay.
Yes.
All right.
Put that on a graphic.
We're starting. God, stop texting me. We're starting with Louisiana Tech money line tonight against Middle Tennessee State. We go into Friday's slate. Arizona State as a home underdog against Utah, plus 170 in this money line parlay. Then we go to Saturday. Texas money line, the Red River rivalry. Pitt money line against Cal. Tennessee bouncing back at home against Florida. Tennessee money line. And USC plus 150 to close us out, to bring it to plus 2156. We're throwing a dart. And we're hoping and praying it hits on the bullseye bit, folks. Ride at your own risk. Bet responsibly.
1-800-GAMBLER.
What a way to end the show, man.
Yeah, I am going to be rooting hard for this parlay. I hope everybody else will join us. I mean, even if you put $1 on it, that's a $20 winner or a $21 winner, you know? Like, just say, like, we're not, you don't have to. Gambling is gambling. If you put $1 on it, if you put $1 million on it, just, you're with us. And
all I know is every week, BetMGM gives you a free no sweat parlay promo. And for me, it's usually around $10. But last year it was like $50. And I won a few, and now they've lowered it to $10 because I won a few. So all I'm saying is you can go find a book that has a nice no sweat parlay little promo.
Yep.
$10. If it loses, you can put it on the Bears to beat the Jags on Sunday.
It's true. Because they better. Because I saw Bragg singing Sweet Home Chicago today on the Twitters. My God, they better win. Holy crap.
That's a nice little preview for tomorrow. We're going to talk NFL tomorrow, folks. If you hung around, the people that did watch this entire thing live, I appreciate you. Hit that like button on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And Tommy, this was fun, man.
Yeah, let's just win all of our bets and do it again tomorrow. It's that simple.
Yeah. To close it out, for anyone watching, I will share again tonight what me and Tommy are playing. I am playing Coastal Carolina plus 9.5 and Middle Tennessee and La Tech under 49.5. And then Tommy is basically playing the JMU, Western Kentucky, and La Tech moneyline parlay at plus 110.
Yes.
And I think you're taking La Tech -4 as well.
Yeah, La Tech -4 and then Western Kentucky -19.5 as well. So cover the spreads, win the games.
Best of luck.
Yeah. I also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hockey plays after they just dismantled me last night. So I'm just an idiot. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Stay away from betting hockey if you're Tommy. All right. again, we'll be back tomorrow. The time is in question right now. We can't do 4:00 tomorrow, but
yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. It's NFL, and so we're gonna do it at some point.
Yep.
And we'll start with the Bears game. So we'll see you bright and early in the show. All right.
Bright and early.
All right. We'll see you then. Good luck with all your bets, and bye.